Hello everyone, I'm Avenger Green, and the time is finally here. We've been waiting for this since Void Rifles issue 1, and now Transformers issue 1, the next era of Transformers comics, is here. Fair warning, I am going full spoilers with this recap slash review, mostly because Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer came in swinging and are holding nothing back. So first, let's talk about the cover, which is admittedly a pretty simple but cool image of Optimus Prime posing as a fire rages around him. But one little detail I haven't mentioned, and with the Void Rival reviews, is this cool little corner image similar to what Marvel used to do with their 70s and 80s comics, with a smaller Optimus Prime and an EU logo, showing that comic is part of the Energon Universe. We truly start the comic with some brief images. There's a military helicopters, the Ark crashing on Earth, and a shuttle exploding before we're getting introduced to this universe's version of the Witwickies. Icky's teenage son Spike and his father Sparkplug, or Sparky as he's called. In these 3 pages, we get a good idea of what they're going through. Spike had an older brother named Jimmy, who's recently died, and the two are dealing with the trauma in different ways. Spike goes stargazing with his girlfriend Carly because it reminds him of the good times with his brother, but Spark is clearly not handling quite so well as he's been drinking from noon to night and says it's best to forget Jimmy and that Spike needs to grow up. When Spike and Carly he goes stargazing on a mountain, we also learn that Spike is planning on going to Berkeley in order to become an astronaut, and he hasn't told his father about that. And Carly and her dad are saving money for her to get to art school. But then, an earthquake happens, and the two end up falling into a very familiar ship that was underneath the mountain, the Ark. And inside the Ark is several familiar G1 Transformers that are damaged and unconscious. Jetfire arrives, with this confirming this issue takes place after Void Rivals issue 1, and activates the Teletran 1 computer in order to repair the damaged Cybertronians. He caused the earthquake by using some Energon to uncover the ship, and even scanned and some Earth vehicles to help repair the bots. As it turns out, the first Transformer repaired is Jetfire's old pal Starscream. Now, before I turn the page, I should warn you, this is your last chance to click away because I'm about to go into massive spoilers for the issue. You got that? Okay, here we go. Starscream thanks Jetfire for waking him up, and then murders a still unconscious Bumblebee. Yes, the face of the franchise for over the last decade is freaking dead at issue 1. Jetfire is naturally horrified, clearly not knowing why this is happening, or that there's a war between the Autobots and Decepticons, or even what those symbols on the Transformers means. Jetfire blasts him away, but before he can murder an unconscious Jazz, as a repaired Optimus Prime rises and starts beating the crap out of old Screamer. But Prime then notices Spike and Carly and moves to defend them. The fight continues like that for a bit, with more Cybertronians being randomly repaired by Teletran 1, which includes Ratchet, then Skywarp, and then Soundwave. Even his cassettes. But in the middle of all this chaos, we get a somber moment where Optimus sees the dead Bumblebee. And I really gotta give credit to Johnson here. In just a few panels, we see Optimus's shock and sadness at the death of his old friend. All he can say is, "Oh no." And at the same time, Spike sees this and clearly recognizes what this strange alien being is going through. No doubt drawing on his own loss from Jimmy's death. He and Carly manage to push Optimus Prime's blaster back into his hand in the scuffle. And when Optimus sees that Teletran is repairing even more Decepticons, he has no choice but to blast the hell out of the computer. While all this is going on, Ratchet loaded the remaining offline Autobots into Optimus's trailer. The big bot grabs Spike and Carly. Alright, and then the two, of course, transform and roll out. Look, Starscream and Skywarp end up pursuing them, but Jetfire finally manages to recover and run interference, though he gets blasted hard for this. Thankfully, Skywarp was running low on energy, forcing Starscream to retreat since he'd be outnumbered if he continued the chase. Spike leads the group to an abandoned quarry where he and Jimmy used to sneak off into, and we get another somber sequence as Jetfire is gravely injured. And yeah, we learn a bit more about how Jetfire left Cybertron to find a way to heal the planet, so long ago that Optimus wasn't even a Prime before he left. Optimus attempts to use the Matrix to heal Jetfire, but Ratchet points out that while the Matrix can heal, it can't save someone from dying. In his last moments, Jetfire asks Optimus if there's any hope for Cybertron, but all he can say is that he doesn't know. And so, Jetfire dies, saying that he failed his mission and that Cybertron and everything will die. And after that dour note, we come back to the Decepticons on the Ark. Soundwave says that they don't have enough Energon to repair Teletran 1, but Laserbeak scouted a local energy source that they could probably use to convert it for energy. And since Starscream is the one with the most Energon reserves currently, it falls to him to harvest the energy. He says that that's what Megatron would do, but Starscream interrupts and firmly says that he's now the leader of the Decepticons. And in a cruel twist, the local resource was the power plant that Sparkplug and his pal Davey work at. Davey tries to run away, but he doesn't make it that far, or as he's grabbed and squished by Starscream. We don't see Screamer popping him like a meat balloon, but the bloody squish sound effects paints quite the picture at the issue ends. So, yeah, this was one hell of an impressive debut issue. If you were thinking this was going to be lighthearted like the original G1 cartoon, this issue pretty much tells you that the tone is going to be a bit more dire and a bit more serious, similar to Beast Wars, Master Force, and Transformers Prime. But then again, we probably should have expected that from Daniel Warren Johnson. Sure, he did write the awesomely cheesy Jurassic League, but he's also wrote and drew the post-apocalyptic Wonder Woman Dead Earth. While the art is kinetic, again, really amazing to look at, especially with the over-the-top action, like when Optimus suplexed Starscream. We do get an emotional core with Spike and Spark's shared grief, and that loss is being reflected with the losses that Optimus has gone through with the death of two of his closest friends. And the issue is also pretty good as a standalone story. Sure, it is part of the larger Energon Universe, but it's presented in a way where you don't really have to have read Void Rivals in order to completely understand why Jetfire was here. It's just that having an entire picture, or by having read all of Void Rivals, feels a bit nice and rewarding. It also serves as both a well-made jumping-on point for anyone who has never read a Transformers comic before, and it's got enough twisted on the classic G1 formula to keep longtime fans like myself intrigued about what's going to happen in future issues. After all, I certainly didn't expect Bumblebee and Jetfire to be killed in the first issue. So, whether you're a new fan of the Transformers or a lifelong fan like myself, you owe it to yourself to pick up this issue. Daniel Warren Johnson is bringing his A game on both the writing and artistic front, and I think this is looking to be a really awesome return to comic form for the Robots in Disguise. If you want to see more videos covering this and any other Energon Universe comic, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you always know when I upload a new video. Until next time, have a great day.